Did you know that there are tons of monsters in My Singing Monsters that never made it into the final cut? That's right, there are so many cool creatures that we never got to see, and today I'm going to show you a bunch of those lost monsters that could have been. Stick around until the end, because trust me, some of these are absolutely crazy. You'll find more info about all these monsters in the description, and just a quick shout out, all images belong to their rightful owners. Alright, let's jump right in. First up, you may recognize this guy. This is an early beta design for the noggin. He was actually made of wood instead of rock, like we see today. Personally, I think this design is pretty cool, and it still keeps those signature luscious toes that we all love about the noggin. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if this version stuck around. I also think this design might have inspired Knucklehead's look, which is really neat. I mean, it would be a shame if this design just faded into the background, right? Next, we've got an early version of the mammoth. Believe it or not, this guy was originally a water element monster. Honestly, he's a little creepy, especially with those eyes. I much prefer the cuddly mammoths that we know and love today. Fun fact, there are a few different early designs for the mammoth, and one thing they all have in common is the sharp teeth. It seems like they were going for a much darker, more intense vibe at first, but I'm really glad that they went with the cute, cartoony style that we have now. To wrap up this trio, here's an early design for the toe jammer. This one is definitely a bit creepy, but in a fun, almost playful way. I love how sharp his teeth are and how menacing he looks in this version. And get this, the early design actually inspired the epic toe jammer. Pretty epic, right? Yeah, let's move on. Here's a scrapped monster called Owlesk, or Flying Cone. A scrapped owl-like monster from early in development that was replaced by Tweedle. Interestingly, the flutes from this monster were reused for rare Tweedle. The fur was repurposed for rare Bogart and the face was repurposed for Grumpire. I personally think Owlesk is super cute and I just want to give it a pat on the head. It's fascinating to see how these recycled elements from these early designs found their way into the game, and in a way Owlesk is still in the game. Next we've got a more rugged, rough design for Drumpler. I've got to say, I kinda love this version. He's always smiling, even though he looks like he could be a villain in a Zelda game. The more I look at these early concepts, the more I notice they're a lot more realistic and rugged, instead of the bright cartoony style we see today. Also, they stole Drumpler's nose. I mean, come on, how could they do that to him? We need to start a petition or something. Here's an early version of Whale, who was originally planned to be the magical Sanctum quad element monster. The main differences here are the 4 hands and a magical sigil on his stomach, which was replaced with mouths. Honestly, I'm really happy with the Whale we have today, but it's super cool to see how different things looked in the early days of development. These are called the lyrics, and there are early concepts for the wordos, each representing a different element. The designs were later reused to create Wither and Bemebeth. Honestly, I think these lyrics look amazing. Sure, the wordos we have now are a bit creepy, but these guys have such an interesting eldritch vibe. And finally, this is one of my favorite designs in today's video. An early concept for the Earth Island quad element monster, which eventually became Chorister. As you can see, this early version looks nothing like Chorister, and that's because the Earth Island quad element was going to be a completely different monster altogether. I'm so glad we ended up getting Flute Fly in the game, even after it was scrapped as the quad. This design was much more in line with the older concept art for My Singing Monsters, with that darker, more gritty style and muted colours. Alright, that wraps it up for our deep dive into these lost monsters from My Singing Monsters. It's so wild to see how different the game could have been if some of these designs have made it in. From the creepy to the cute, it's clear to see that the development team experimented with a lot of unique ideas before settling on the monsters that we know and love today. Which one of these scrap designs is your favourite? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more My Singing Monsters content. You can also check out the description for more details on these lost monsters. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Happy monster handling!